Hey everybody, welcome to episode 11 of my paranormal experiences and weird supernatural incidences to share with you. Also, happy Labor Day, and I hope that you're enjoying your weekend and that this next week is a fruitful and prosperous one and that everyone enjoyed their time off. That being said, I think that I am going to tell the story of the weird amulet. Now, I was out, and this was at Shotgun Creek here in Lane County, Oregon. And we had been driving around that area, and there goes that notification, like always, never fails. Like I've told you all a million times. If you watched the last few times, you've heard it, I'm sure. Anyway, so we were up there, and was again a time whenever both of us needed to go pee. And he walked off across the road onto the other side, and we were off a pull-off out there. And I walked over, and there was this big fallen log. I mean, it was a really big tree. I decided that I was going to walk around the opposite side of the log and squat down there. And as I went to do that, I proceeded to go around the tree, and I started to squat down, and a glint from sunlight caught something silvery. And I noticed it looked like there was something sparkly on the ground. So, naturally, I was curious. And I bent over and I looked down on the ground, and there's this amulet about yay big. And it's shaped like a sun with, like, the little points of the sun on. It's circular, but, like, it's got those kind of points on the outside. But on the inside, it's hollowed out in a crescent moon shape, in a lunar crescent shape. I mean, it was just really pretty, and it really stood out to me, but there was no chain, there was nothing but this little pendant. Well, I thought it was pretty, so I decided, I'll stick it in my pocket. I go ahead and I pee. I do my thing. I walk back over to the car. My boyfriend has gotten back in the car by this time. And I pull it out of my pocket and I show it to him. I'm like, hey, look what I found. This is pretty cool, isn't it? And he's like, oh, that is actually really cool. And he goes ahead and he sticks it on the key ring of my car. And we didn't think anything else of it, right? Well, we drive back down. We get back into town, and we're rolling around town, and we decide we want to go to this convenience store. We want to go to a local dairy mart, right? And we're in the middle of Springfield, Oregon at this point. And we're off 5th Street driving, looking for a store to go to. And all of a sudden, there's this big exploding noise. Like, just boom! And all of a sudden, the car just dies out of nowhere in the middle of the road. And I look at him, and this is my car. And we actually worked as newspaper delivery people at this time. This was our way to do our route, and it breaking down was not good. And basically, he can't get the car to go back into gear. Well, we push it off the side of the road, and we end up getting somebody to come tow us out, and we get it moved to where it needs to be. And we're over at a friend's house, a couple of friends at that time. I'm not friends with either people anymore, but we were friends at that time, and we go over there, and we're sitting down, and we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do next and everything. And we know we're going to have to call out our route. I've already called, them to let them know we're not going to be able to do the route that night. There's no way it's going to happen. And we're hungry and everything, so we decide that we want pizza. So my ex-friend's old man and my boyfriend decided to walk across the street and go get some pizza and some beers and bring it back so we could all relax. And I guess he got to thinking, as they were walking back across the street, he had a thought. And he looked down at the keys and he noticed that amulet. And he thought, something ain't right about this, because the car was fine. And this was the weirdest thing, because come to find out, because he was a mechanic and everything, we figured it out that the limited slip inside the transmission had exploded and broken, and that was why the car wouldn't go into gear, which is a very rare complication for a vehicle to have. Not saying it never happens, but it rarely happens. Most cars with transmission issues, the transmission slips and goes out. The transmission, literally, the limited slip inside of it exploded randomly, and we don't even know why to this day that happened. But in his mind, when he seen the amulet, something occurred to him, and so he took it off the keychain and threw it in the middle of 14th and Main in Springfield. And he gets back to the house with pizza and beer. And he says, you know, I wanted to tell you something. Next time you're out in the woods, don't pick up just no random jewelry that you see, because you never know what it might have came off of, or if it's hexed or something. And I think that amulet that you got had something on it, and that's what caused us so many problems, and that's the reason why the car broke down. Now, after he did that and this amulet disappeared, all of the bad fortune that we had somehow undertaken vanished. Like, I didn't know how we were going to get this car fixed. I didn't know how we were going to get it towed. I didn't know how we were going to get it back on the road. And within 2 weeks of that happening, the car, all of those things were answered. The money was made available. Everything came to be to fix the car. But that car actually had quite a bit of stories. I have another story that I will share with you guys again later. But for now, that was episode 11. There goes the midnight train. Y'all are hearing my midnight train. And I will be back in touch with you guys with another story shortly. And hope you enjoyed that one. Again, I got probably about, I don't know, a week and a half left of stories to share with you guys before I might start taking user-related content, and start sharing some stories from other people that I know and experiences that they have had. Anyways, until next time, you guys have a good night, and have a safe Labor Day, and take care of each other.